Welcome back, everyone. This is WRPB Studios, and I am Christina Michelle. Today, we are speaking with the amazing Willie Scott of Building Opportunities Through Golf. Now, this is a nonprofit, and we are going to have Willie explain to us what is BOTG.
BOTG, Building Opportunities Through Golf, is a local 501c3 nonprofit that uses golf as a tool to mentor, train, and teach kids that come from the impoverished community in Fort Pierce. It's our belief that golf is one of the true sports that mirrors life. So we take all those aspects of golf and try to incorporate those aspects into the kids' behavior, what they wear every day, how they talk, follow the rules, those type of things, and it works well for us.
Wow. And what inspired you to decide to use golf as a way to get kids to kind of find a more positive activity?
Well, for me, with those kids, I grew up in the same type neighborhood most of those kids that we deal with grow up now, except I just grew up in Chicago. Same atmosphere, different place. And I've always had a heart for service. And when I retired from the military, I wanted to do something that would help people, change people's lives. So building opportunities was my niche because I love golf. I've always loved golf ever since I got introduced to it. And I just believe that the core values in golf can really relate to everyday life.
I like it. So you take kids from using golf clubs on windshields and show them how to use it the right way.
Exactly. And how to behave.
And how long has Building Opportunities Through Golf been around?
We've been around for 3 years now, and we're enjoying our third year. We had a really good fundraising year this year. We got some big plans coming up for the year and next year, and we'll see how it goes.
And when you have a fundraiser, what do you use those funds for?
Well, our biggest fundraiser that we have our fundraiser in May, and we use those funds. It's a golf tournament that we do, and we use those funds to sponsor a trip that we take to East Lake, a community outside of Atlanta every year. And the reason why we picked East Lake is because East Lake was a carbon copy of Fort Pierce, the crime, the drugs, all of those things. So with the help of the PGA Tour, some local business folks, they got together and revitalized that community. They turned the golf course in that community to now the premier golf course in the United States.
Wow.
And it hosts the PGA Tour Championship, what used to be called the FedEx Cup. So, because of the history of East Lake, and part of our mission is to show our kids that regardless of where you come from, your community can thrive. It can be made better. And East Lake is a perfect example of that.
Wow. And what's the age range of children that you facilitate through this program?
Well, this year we kind of made a little bit of a change. Normally we only took high schoolers. So this year we're going to take some 10-year-olds all the way up to 19-year-olds. And we partnered with several other nonprofits, Project Lift, Boys and Girls Club, uh, Fort Pierce Police Department Explorers, Rich House. So we've just partnered with a bunch of group of organizations, and we're going to try to keep that 501c3 nonprofit camaraderie, and we pick from those kids.
Very nice. So, serious question. Who is harder to train, boys or girls?
Both, both. Believe it or not, girls are easier
Really?
because girls are very. I don't want to. Yeah, I do want to use the word brainy, right? They're very brainy, and golf is a brainy game. It's about angles and statistics and that type of thing. And guys, we don't care about that. Girls care about those things, so they pay much more attention.
The boys just want to swing away. The girls are actually taking the air, the wind, the
Yes,
animals into account.
yes, absolutely.
So, what were you doing before you started BOTG?
Well, I retired from the Army after 33 years in the Army. I called it quits. I had another business that I was running, but I've since pretty much shut down everything so I can focus 100% on BOTG. I think it's my calling. It's exactly what I'm here to do, why I'm here, why I'll continue to be here. So I just wanted to give it 100%, and I couldn't do that doing some of the other things I was doing.
Wow. What I love about BOTG is that, there's kids in these underserved areas that
Hmm.
are being given a chance to learn a skill that is sometimes considered a skill that you need money to get involved with. Like, to me, golf is an
It,
expensive
it is.
sport.
It is very
You have
expensive.
to buy clubs, you have to buy shoes. If you decide to be part of a golf club, you have to pay those fees
Hmm.
to go and play. So when you're giving children access to a sport like that, you're teaching them a skill, but also discipline that they
Yes,
can actually take back to their community and apply in real life.
absolutely.
Golf is something where you have to slow down.
You can't go fast.
You cannot.
I
So,
tell the kids all the time, golf is a marathon, not a race.
mhm.
And as far as the kids are concerned, I do all of my golf stuff out at the county golf course called Fairwinds Golf Course. And we have a program every single Saturday. Any kid that lives in the Treasure Coast can come to our golf course and get free golf lessons and get out on the golf course and play with the supervision of myself, the general manager, and some other teaching professionals. We call it Get Out and Play.
Mm.
If a kid needs a pair of golf clubs, we get them. If a kid needs a pair of shoes, I have a very, very good friend of mine who is the president of FootJoy, the leading golf manufacturer shoe company in the world. It just requires a simple email, what sizes I need, how many I need, and they mail them to me. So we don't put any monetary restrictions on any kid that comes to our program. And all of it's funded by BOTG. You know, we do what we need to do to make sure the kids have what they have. And I could not do it without Mark Camarini, the general manager at Fairwinds Golf Course. Could not do it without him.
Thank you, Mark. You heard that from Willie.
Yes, yes. And I couldn't do it without the people like FootJoy, Super Speed Golf, some of the other organizations that I partner with. I could not do what I do without those folks.
Amazing. It takes a team. It takes a full
Yes,
team. As the
yes.
saying goes, it takes a village to
Village.
raise a kid, and
Yeah,
absolutely all those little components. Some people think I'm not doing enough, but that little bit, when you have a lot of people doing a little bit, it creates a lot.
it's a lot. Yep.
So I don't have a lot of knowledge of golf. My knowledge of golf goes as far as Happy Gilmore,
That is not
and
golf.
the only thing I know is that it's all in the hips. So I have to ask you, what is your number one piece of advice for someone who is trying to learn how to play golf?
Take lessons.
Mm.
Take lessons from a golf instructor, not your buddy, not your friend. Take lessons from someone that has been trained in the business because the business has changed so much. A lot of information that we got 10 years ago is now outdated. It doesn't apply. So I would tell you, take lessons. Take lessons. If you want to play this game, if you want to play it for just to have fun, then at least take a few lessons to get the basics and the fundamentals down. But if you want to play at a high level, you have to take lessons. Not from your buddy again, not from your wife, your girlfriend, none of those folks. Take lessons from someone that knows what they're doing.
And after doing this for 3 years, what has been like a unique, most rewarding experience? Like, has there been one kid who really gave you a hard time at first, and he came to love the sport, or like what is a memory that stands out the most to you? That's been your biggest reward with BOTG
Easy, easy. Project Lift.
Project Lift?
I'm sure you're familiar with Project
I've
Lift.
heard.
So I started a program with Project Lift a year or so ago, and I had no idea what what I was going to get once I started this program. So they bring out the kids. The kids got pants hanging down by their ankles almost, no tucked in shirts. But I didn't say anything. I just went about my business and do what I do. Well, by week 4, I could see the kids in the parking lot with the shirts tucked in, belts, pants pulled up. They're checking in the mirror of the vehicle to make sure that their collars are straight. So just the mere fact of them coming out there and me allowing them to be who they are without saying, hey, pull your pants up. I didn't have to do that. They did it automatically. But the best part of the story is one of the counselors came to me and said, hey, Mr. Scott, I got to talk to you. I said, what's up, man? He says, you see those two boys right there? They are both in rival gangs in Fort Pierce. And they have already put out to their gang members that he is off limits and he is off limits because he's my golf buddy.
Wow.
Profound, unbelievable. that golf, I know that golf has that kind of effect. That two gang members decided that because we're golf buddies and because I see you every week at the golf course, we're not going to fight. And no one in my gang is going to mess with you. And to me, that was huge.
You're giving me golf bumps. Gotta tell them we don't gang on the green.
No,
We
we do
don't
not.
gang on the green. That's beautiful, and I think it shows that being exposed to different environments is so crucial for a child.
Yes.
And when you come from those kinds of neighborhoods where everyone has normalized criminal behavior, gang activity, dressing a certain way, they've normalized that where they think this is just the way it is. This is the way everyone does it.
Yes.
And you're allowing them to come out of that environment and see, hey, there's a different way to do things, but you're also not forcing them.
Nope.
You're just showing them by example, hey, there is an alternative.
Yes. That's why our trip is so important, because we take kids that have probably never been out of their neighborhood. They go stay in a 5-star hotel. We don't do anything cheap. We go first class all the way. Some of these kids have never even seen an elevator. Right, I remember last year we were in a hotel in Atlanta, and one of the kids is standing on the balcony, just kind of staring off into space. So I go upstairs, hey, what's going on? He said, Coach Willie, they got a glass elevator inside the building. They got a balcony inside the building. I'm like, yeah, man, no big deal. But to him, that's huge because he's never seen that. And the reality is some of the kids that we deal with have never even been to Port St. Lucie. 3 miles down the road from where they live. They've never even been to Port St. Lucie. So the trip is huge. And we call the trip Game Changers because it's our belief that if we can show them a different environment, if we can show them something different than what they grow up with or what they are, they're not a product of their environment, right? That's what we always try to say. You don't have to be a product of your environment. We get it. Your environment is what it is. You don't really have a say in where you live. But here's what could happen when you do have a say. This is what the rest of the world looks like. And it has been amazing.
And I think people don't realize that golf has a very rich history.
It does.
My mother's husband plays golf. He's actually Haitian. And when he goes and plays, he tells me stories about how, I think it's in Crandon Park down in Miami or one of the other Miami golf clubs, that they were not allowed to play.
Nope.
They did not have permission to be out on that green, and I did not know that it ran that deep. And I'm like, wow, what Willie Scott is doing is really helping these children be introduced to a sport that 50 years ago they would not have been allowed to do.
Couldn't do.
That's
why
amazing.
That is one of the reasons why Fairwinds Golf Course is so important to me, because Fairwinds is what I call a second chance facility, right? Fairwinds was the same way. Black folks couldn't come out and play golf at Fairwinds. But Fairwinds was also a county dump. So they transformed that golf course not only from a dump to a beautiful 18-hole facility. And I call it a second chance facility because this is its second chance. And it wasn't just a dump, it was an auto dump. So auto part, tires, old cars, all of that stuff was where the county put all of that. And so Fairwinds is a beautiful example of what we try to teach our kids. Just because you come from that neighborhood, you can have a second chance. And Fairwinds is our second chance facility. And we love it there because the history is great there. And it was one of the first golf courses in the Treasure Coast to allow minorities to play golf there.
Wow. That's a rags to riches story. That's
Yes.
literally turning garbage into green.
Green, that's it. And
That's
that's exactly what it
incredible.
is. Second choice. Second chance golf course is what I call it.
That's amazing. Well, Willie, do you have anything else to share with our viewers today?
No, I'm just happy to be here. I mean, to talk about my passion, my love. You know, golf is my passion, my love. Helping the kids that we service is my passion and my love because I came from there. I was just like them. Who knows where I would be if it wasn't for the Army? You know, I was just like them. So I appreciate everything you guys do to get us out there in the public and get us some airtime, and so people can kind of see and figure out, hey, this might be a pretty good organization to donate some money to, because we don't do any grants, we don't do any government funding. Everything we do is Willie Scott talking to people and saying, write us a check.
And in regards to donations, if any of our viewers do want to donate to you, how can they do that?
Just reach out to me on my email, williescott61@yahoo.com.
williescott61@yahoo.com.
Yep. And then we'll figure it out from there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. We have the wonderful Willie Scott. He is the founder of the nonprofit Building Opportunities Through Golf. Thank you so much, Willie.
Thank you.
I know that the children are grateful. We're grateful. Every child that is now on the green is one less child on the streets. So
Yes.
we thank you for that.
And they're not breaking into cars.
Absolutely. We
Yes.
like it. We like it. Well, there you have it, folks. My name is Christina Michelle with WRPB Studios. And one more time for the amazing Willie Scott of Building Opportunities Through Golf. Thank you, Willie.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good day, everyone.